folks, middle of May now, still not planted anything out that's in my polytunnel here. I'll show you that in a bit when I've just shown you what I'm going to sow now. So I'm going to sow my second lot of lettuce and things like that, but also I'm going to sow my first batches of, got some dwarf French beans sent to me by Suttons for free, thank you very much Suttons. And I'm going to sow me some squash, some butternut squash, these are called Hunter. A few cucumbers, they're just a ridge cucumber these, Berkeley's Tasty Green, and my favourite courgette which is called Defender, which is quite like a compact courgette if you will, it doesn't trail about, it's more of a bush variety. So I'm going to get some of these dwarf French beans in, they'll be going outside because I used to grow a climbing variety called Cobra in the polytunnel, but I tried it last year outside and it just didn't do very well because it likes it nice and warm. So what I'm going to do with these, so these are, like I said, they're a dwarf variety, they only grow about a foot tall, you can plant them a foot apart, you probably get 20 odd beans off each plant, and they're only small, and they come within about 2 months, so they were quite good last year. So I'm just going to plant a few of these in some small modules. I'm running out of modules because I've not planted anything out yet, so having to find anything I can, so I'm going to plant about 30 of these. Quite small seeds as you can see, so that proves that they're going to be quite small beans, quite tender beans. So all I'm going to do with these is just plant a couple in each module about half an inch deep or so, and then just once they germinate, I'll probably germinate them in the house where it's a little bit warmer, like so. Just make a little hole, cover them over, and then once they germinate, just pinch off the weaker of the two plants. So yeah, if you can't grow obviously climbing beans outside because it is a bit windy, these dwarf ones are a cracking variety. These are called, what are these called? Safari, they're a Kenyan bean apparently, but I grew some last year called Ferrari. I don't know why they all got these silly names, but anyway, they're dead easy to do. So I'll finish the rest of those off, and I'm going to plant some cucumbers, squash, courgettes and the like now. Just show you how I plant the seeds. I don't know whether it actually makes any difference or not, but most of these squash seeds and cucumber seeds, they're always little flat things like that, and I find that if you don't drop them, if you plant them on their edge rather than flat, they tend to germinate a little bit quicker because they're not pushing up a lot more of the compost, you know, there's less resistance to the sprout. So what are these courgette? Make sure I put them in the right thing. So what I'm going to do again with these is just push them just under the surface, put 2 in each pot. I guarantee if I planted one, none had come up, but now I'm planting 2, they'll both come up. So I'm planting these on edge, just pushing them into the soil. Couldn't be easier. I'll put these in a propagator at home, a little bit of warmth, because they do like a bit of warmth to get going, and they should be up within a week, and I'll probably grow them on for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then they'll be ready to plant out middle of June, when we should have no risk of any frost whatsoever. So that's the idea with these tender things. So that's the courgettes done, so I'll just give them a quick water. So it's all the same, everything's the same with the cucumbers and the squashes, plant them on end, bit of heat, and see how they go. So I'll just show you what else has been going on in here, which isn't a great deal, but things are coming along now. So if I can just grab my camera, and just turn the lens around. So the spuds are coming on well now, as you can see those. Getting a little bit leggy because it's not been too bright, but once a few flowers start forming, I should be able to have a bit of a harvest. I've forgotten my tripod, so I've had to balance my camera on this bucket. So anyway, that's the leeks, getting a little bit bigger. Again, it's still been cold, but it's nice and warm today. So they're coming along. I don't usually plant those out till into June, so they've got 2 or 3 weeks to get a little bit bigger, but they're not doing too bad. That's the coriander that I sowed, that was out of a 5-year-old packet that was out of date. Planted my peppers now in these 7.5 litre pots, and they seem to have grown a little bit since I did that, so should be okay. And these are my banana shallots, which seem to have perked up a little bit, as you can see. Nowhere near as good as Phil's that he sent me, but I've got a good 50 there that should be right to plant out in a couple of weeks, so it's not total disaster. The lettuces are not far off, ready to go out. Could do with them being a little bit bigger, a little bit sturdier, because it's still quite windy, and I just wanted to get a little bit bigger, maybe another week, and they'll be ready to go out. Likewise with the rocket, things like that. Now I don't know why I don't know whether I'm going to sow any more spring onions, because these are the ones I sowed a month after the first lot, which I've already planted out, and these that I sowed a month later are bigger than the ones I planted out. So that goes to show you that when it's cold there's no benefit in sowing or planting things out. Got a few little brassicas here, I'm trying a few cauliflowers, only 4 cauliflowers, 4 Brussels sprouts which I've never had any success with, and a bit of Russian red kale there. So we'll give that a go, because I've got plenty of space up at the plot, so we'll see how we get on. Some more potatoes there, again, getting a little bit leggy. They're doing alright. Planted my tomatoes out. These are the Gardener's Delight in 20 litre pots. And then also I've put some of the tumbling tomatoes in some little homemade hanging things which I've hung on the ridge of this polytunnel. So they're doing quite well. What I do with tomatoes is, once I've planted them, I don't water them for a couple of weeks, because I want to force the roots to really search through the soil and get right down to the bottom of the pots. And if you do that, it tends to get a good root structure, because if you just keep watering the top and the top with pots this tall, the roots end up just staying at the top. So if you give them a couple of weeks without watering, obviously they start wilting, then they need to water, but I've not touched these for nearly 2 weeks, and they've grown and they're still looking fine, so the roots will be in search of the water. So another little tomato plant there, another potato, and these are some of the Nicola and Anya potatoes just coming through now. So that's for the second sort of crop. So anyway folks, that's about it. Like I said, things are still slow but coming along nicely now, and it only should be maybe a week or 2 before we've started to get quite a lot of stuff planted out. So anyway, that's about it from the old greenhouse polytunnel / whatever you call it. See you later.